Yeah, makes the hair of my neck stand up, eh? Right there, Neo with Sexy Love and talking about te aroha nui ki te ao koe atu e hono tahi mai ana ki a tātou I tēnei ki o ngā atua, ko tēnei o ngā mārei kura o tātou. A ko Maria Huata, ngā mihi ki a koe te tuahine kei te pewhia.
O e tino ora ana, kei te whiti mai a tamanui te rā, kua kuhu atu tātou, ki te marama o tako te wā ara ko mawharu, nā reira kua whakarerea a tamatea, te wā ngoikore, ko te wā I nai nei, kia tau te ngā kaumahaki, kia puta ki te korikori tinana, nā reira, e hara tēnei te kōrero whakahihi, ngari koe tērā, I tēnei ata, I hoki ki te korikori tinana, oh man, fit wahine, just got a bit of a shout out to te Pua Waitanga Winterburn, kick my nono I te ata nei, bit of a, they call it the whakaupiki wairua hit. I don't know about the
Wow,
fucking, but it does, eh? Once you finish, you actually feel real good. It's what, so, yeah, pai ana hau.
That's right. When you're in the middle of it, you're struggling, you're feeling like, come on, get to the end. But as soon as you get there, you're like going, far out, that was awesome. And then you want to go again.
Again, I don't know, but yeah.
Winterburn, I haven't heard that name for a while. Of course, our brother Pango was a Winterburn himself, so it's good to hear that last name again. Brought back some memories.
Most definitely.
He oi, ko ngā kaupapa kōrero kei a tāu e tēnei wā, ko ngā kōrero, ko ngā Puurongo kōrero a Aukaha, ngā kōrero e hine?
Oh, me whenei me u tātou ki ngā koro a te rohe nei. Nā reira ko te tino koro o te wā I tēnei ki wā tonu, e mohio ti ana e au he tangata riki koe engari, I te rā horo ei, ko wai te ihu e puta mo te taho o te whutu pōro, ara ko ngā rangatira o Waikato ko ngā Chiefs, ka tahi ko te kemu tata tērā I Wainganui I te tira Crusaders me te tira Chiefs, engari ko te Chiefs I toi te mutunga iho, ko te 24 ki te 22, and I was like, ooh! And I'm not a huge sports fan. I only really, to be honest, I just watch sports when my kids are playing, but I couldn't really ignore that one. So that was great for the Chiefs to come away with a win, eh, bro?
Absolutely, and I was flipping between league and rugby because I wanted the Chiefs to win, of course. And I saw how close the score was, so I was going, "Oh, come on!" And then that last minute try, really got us above the Crusaders. And then, of course, I've been really, really impressed with our Wahine, our Chiefs Manawa team as well, who's full of All Blacks as well on that side. So I'm really loving women in sport at the moment, the NRLW, and of course the Opiki competition as well. Just seeing our ladies out there doing the damage. I mean, I tell you what, a lot of these ladies can hit harder than the men.
Absolutely, and I'm glad that you put that up here. Took a bloody mouth to bring up the wahine toa in the spot. Tēnā koe Patara mo te whakamaumahara mai ia hau. I tēnā ki wiki, I will be talking to one of our local Ngāti Haua girls, who's over in Brizzy at the moment playing for the Brisbane Reds, and that's Oke Manihira. So be looking forward to catching up with her, a mother of four or five tamariki, who's over there doing the do and still pumping. So absolutely big ups for the wahine in the sports field, hitting it hard, literally and figuratively. Also, just the other two kaupapa that I want to hit on. Last week, super amazing. It really hit home. Ngā hononga I Wainganui ia tātou te iwi Māori, me iwi ke atu I te paukai o te rā whitiroa, kautau I kite mai I te rā pānui huri rauna, I whakahokia mai tetehi taonga whakarei, he whakakai mau taringa nā kingi tāwhio I whakahokia taua taonga rā I te whānau o William Day. Ko William Day te tūpuna ake, ana ko tana granddaughter, ko tana granddaughter I whakahoki mai I tiakina I tēnei mau taringa nā kingi tāwhio e whea ke ngā tau. Huri ngā tau, ko tana mahi, e ata tiaki taua taonga katahi I tērā wiki I runga I te marae o te rāwhitiroa I whakahokia taua taonga. And so that was on our Aukaha News live broadcast last night, the return of this most precious treasure of King Tawhio, a greenstone earring that he gifted to William Day back in the day. King Tawhio, according to the kōrero of William Day's granddaughter, used to walk from, where have you walked from, into H-Town. We're so soft these days. We don't do no walk. We don't do walking like that. Well, there's nothing. And he would walk and go and see his Pākehā mate, William Day, and he saw this tātana, this tartan blanket that he liked, and he would stroke this blanket. And William Day gifted that blanket. So hey tauatuatu I te ramahi to reciprocate that gift. Kingi Tawhio removed his mautaringa, his earring from his ear, and gifted it to William Day. And William Day's instructions to his uri was to look after that taonga. And so last week, at the Paukai of Te Rāwhiti Roa, his granddaughter returned it, and she was like 103 or 108.
Wow.
I left and sharp as a tack, still agile. Yes, moving with her walkie. But goodness gracious, I really wanted to know what her secret was. Is it the
Is
kore
it?
waipiro? Is it? But just to have that signify and restore faith and belief in those relationships between Māori and non-Māori. That especially in this current times with the protests happening and people feeling a bit divided, that to keep the faith and to keep the
Yes.
hope and stay positive, because we know, and this is cheesy, but it works. Mena ka pupuru I te whakaro tika, I te whakaro marire, koiranga āhuatanga ka puta ka hoki mai. Hey, he arohai tā koha mai, he arohai hoki mai. So, koira te tino whakatinanatanga o ngā rā tūmomo kōrero. So, I thought that was pretty amazing, eh? It was so amazing to have that happen. Also, and being haka nuts yourself and I, growing up in the haka world, and it's something that we eat, live and breathe for lunch, breakfast and dinner, celebrating 50 years or Te Matatini, beginning with its first form of the Polynesian Festival back in 1972. And from the Polynesian Festival, we moved to its next form, Atampaf, which was a bit of a mouthful for an acronym there, but the Aotearoa, Traditional Māori Performing Arts. And then in 2005, in Palmerston North, we had the first Te Matatini. So it was really cool seeing all the memories pop up on people's Facebook pages and their recollections of their first stands. And I'm going to share my first stand because you got to relate it back to us, back to Waikato. But you'd remember, Patara, back in the day, there was kind of three main groups in Waikato that would always, before they went to an Atampaf, because it changed at a certain time, and I remember when it changed, we would always have our dress rehearsals together, and that was Ngā Tama Ārangi, Tani Wharau, and Te Whare Wānanga Waikato. And so of course, I grew up in Te Whare Wānanga Waikato, Te Kapako Te Whare Wānanga Waikato under Tā Timoti Karetu, and that group was purely established to encourage people that didn't have the reo to speak reo through the medium of haka at the University of Waikato, and that was our kaupapa. It wasn't about competition, but it became about that eventually. So I have fond memories of rocking up to Wahi Pa, watching our mums and dads and our aunties and uncles and that vibe, and how we all shared our brackets. And it wasn't like, hey,
yeah,
no,
and that's what I love. You know, we've gone too serious today. We can't even share each other's brackets anymore. Ko te kaupapa, ko te tū kotahi, ki te haere ngā tahi a Waikato, ki ngā whakataita. We've kind of lost that a little bit, man, because of the the way the competition is today. We don't want to share our brackets as in case people steal things. But I reckon, if we do it just a couple of days before, it's too late to steal anything. You need to change something now, then waste time going.
Exactly. So if I was to think about anything that we'd like to return to, it would be that āhuatanga of being able to come together, te whakakotahi, hei iwi o tainui waka, me te haere ngā tahi runga I te wairua kotahi, ki ngā whakataitai, me te tautoko I a tātou anō, ka tai atu ki ngā whakataitai nui o te motu, you're on lockdown until your performance, and you actually don't go out and get to experience the vibe and the love and just get out there and have a taste of what the other groups are doing in terms of different rohe and that whole spirit of yes, I he mea nui te whakataitai, engari he mea nui hoki te tautoko I te kaupapa. So I'd love to see that āhuatanga return. So those are my three main kaupapa for last week. Is always about the sports, and good that you brought up about our wahine, and the return of that taonga, and the return and also restoring the faith, between Māori and non-Māori and tangata tiriti and tangata whenua, and I love that vibe. Let's get back there, because the more of us that put that thought out there, it's just going to vibrate and reverberate across the nation, the Māori nation. And also Te Matatini, and I do feel for our people, you know, this is the second Te Matatini that's been postponed. Our last one was in 2019, and our whānau really feels it, because we come together through haka. And so not being able to come together, just even at a local level, at a ngaho level, to come together through haka and sports. My kids are missing the sports as well. We need to find alternative ways where we can still whakapiki te wairua, kia kaua e rori te hine ngaro, kia kaua e oikore hoki te tina. Tina nei, ngari, koera nohi o ngā kukura mo te rangi nei, Patara.
Tēnā rawa atu koe, kua tūreiti pia te rori o te whakaaro ki roto i tēnei nā. Engari, e kore rono ki tēnā, e te tuahine, te mā reikura, tēnā koe i era Puurongo kōrero kamutu, kia haumaru, kia hānene anō hoki te noho, kia taunga tau whirotanga o te wāhingaro ki ruga kia koe ki tō whānau. Tōna wā ki te kanohi, tinana, tāua i a tāua kamutu, tāua anō hoki whānau, ne?
Mauri ora, ki rungi a koutou hoki. Hei kona.
Hei kona. Ana, me pewhia kore